Man, I've got this huge dream, and you probably do too. The dream is that there wouldn't be anybody who walks through the doors of Hill Country Bible Church or who I come in contact with who doesn't understand fully the love of God, how great and big and how wide that love is. And that's a big, big deal because the Lord is willing that no one would miss him. Here's what we know. Everybody spends eternity somewhere. Everybody spends eternity somewhere. Man, let the gravity of that hit you. That's a big, big deal. Some people are going to make it all the way to heaven, and they're going to get there because they said yes to Jesus. And some people are going to spend forever in hell. And I wish I didn't have to say that, and I wish there was a softer sell on that, but that is the reality. And so it's really big that everything we do helps populate heaven and plunder hell. And we want to do everything we can to make that an easy pathway for somebody in as much as finding who Jesus is. It's not easy to be a Christian all the time, but it's very easy to accept Jesus as your Savior. Harder to make him Lord, right? But easy to accept him as your Savior, right? The word says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." So what we do on Connections is all about that. It's about that on Sunday morning, and it's about that when we leave and we walk our life out Monday through Saturday. That's why it's really important that we don't come at this haphazard, but that we come at this as a team and that we grow both individually, that I become better as a connector and you do too, but also together as a team, unified on purpose, on mission to saturate Greater Austin with the love of Jesus. Big deal. So to that end, if you were to do nothing else but hit pause right here and go and register for our team training next week, that would be the best decision you could make today in regards to growing in the calling that God has put on your life. This team training is really important, and if you haven't prioritized it yet or you haven't RSVP'd to it yet, and there is any way for you to be here, please do not wait until Thursday, Friday to figure out whether you should come. Don't treat it as one of those things you could do if time allows. Make this something that you prioritize. I'm not going to ask you to give up Saturdays very often. I'm not going to ask you to give a couple hours very often to something so important, but this is a really big deal. And so I want to encourage you, please, I want to do more than encourage. I want to ask you, please, to prioritize this and to be at this training on August 13th. That is happening both at the Lakeline location for our Leander and Lakeline teams and at the Steiner Ranch location for our Steiner team. This is for everybody who serves in Connections. Who does that include? That's every usher and greeter and host and cart driver. That's everybody on our Discover Hill Country team. We're going to have a breakout for you at Lakeline for Discover Hill Country. Steiner Ranch, you're gonna have emphasis on what you do and why it matters. But this training is something we do once a year to get ready for those who are coming back into church and kind of getting their life back in order, as people tend to do in the fall. And it's a really, really big deal that you're there because we're going to be pouring into you specifically on some vision. We'll be pouring in on some practice, like how what you do matters, and giving you some role descriptions that will be helpful to you. We'll be pouring into you personally. We've invited Chuck Barber and Chad Hoffman, two of our pastoral staff, to come and talk about what it looks like to be a fully formed follower of Jesus and talk about how we reach our mission of saturating Greater Austin with the love of Jesus. And they're going to come and talk about that. And we're going to have a little bit of fun together as a team. We're going to feed you well. You're going to eat well on Saturday. And we're really excited for this. But it's really important that you make this a priority. So please register today. RSVP today. It doesn't cost you anything to come. It's really important that you're there. I want to share with you one law, and then one law of teamwork, and then I will let this go. The law of teamwork that I want to share with you is called the Law of Mount Everest, and it comes from John Maxwell's book called The 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. In fact, I have it right here. If you're not a John Maxwell fan and you're desiring to grow as a leader, two things. One, if you want to be a leader, you got to be a reader. Two, read good stuff. And so John Maxwell is kind of the guru on leadership. There's a lot of great people out there, but he's one of those guys who has spoken to Fortune 100 companies. He's spoken to professional sports teams, the NFL. He's highly, highly respected, and he has helped a whole bunch of other great leaders grow and develop, who are also writers and speakers and contributors to this area of expertise. He shares this story in the Law of Mount Everest. Law of Mount Everest says this. It says, as the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. We have a big challenge. We want to see a couple 100,000 people, just in our surrounding area right here, million, plus, I don't know what the exact number is, but a huge number, right, in Greater Austin as a whole, come to know Jesus. We don't want anybody to miss that. And so what we do is really, really significant. And many of them come through our doors every single Sunday. And so we want to be a part of that. So that's a big challenge, and it requires a big team. As the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates. In 1953, two men, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing, let me say his name right, Tenzing Norgay, accomplished what no other human being had accomplished. They summited Mount Everest, 29,000 plus feet. They accomplished what nobody else had accomplished. They had reached the highest peak in the world. And this is a big, big deal because many, many had tried to climb, but only gotten so far, and then they had to turn around. They couldn't continue on. The conditions were too treacherous. Those who tried to continue on without a team often lost their lives trying to do so. So Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, they accomplished this task, but listen to what they said. They had a team that went before them that helped them to accomplish this. It was a whole team of climbers that used the mountain way of helping each other in order to sort of perpetuate these guys, propel these guys onto the top. And here's what these guys who make it to the top and get all the glory for it, here's what they have to say. Hey, about their team. They were worn out, they were sick with exhaustion, and of course they were terribly disappointed that they had not reached the summit themselves, but still, they did everything they could to advise and help us. And I thought, yes, that is how it is on the mountain. That is how a mountain makes men great. For where would Hillary and I have been without the others, without the climbers that had made the route and the Sherpas who had carried the loads, without Bordillion and Evans, Hunt and Dominguez who had cleared the way ahead, without Love and Gregory, Ang Haima and Ang Tempra and Penba, who were there only to help us. It was only because of the work and sacrifice of all of them that we were now to have our chance at the top. That's what it's like as a team for us to say every Sunday when we show up, hey, what I do is part of something bigger than me. And because I'm a part of it, people are going to come to know Jesus. This is a big deal. So thank you so much for being a part of a great team. We want to invest in you. And it's really, really exciting to me, the thought of us getting together next Saturday. So we'll see you next Saturday, Lakeline Leander team, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at the Lakeline location, Steiner Ranch, 10 to 12 at the Steiner Ranch location, and I'll be at both of those at different times, and I look forward to it. Hey, God bless you. I can't wait to see you soon. Let's trust God for big things. Let's dream big. Let's go big. Let's invite others into the journey with us, and let's see what comes when we do that. Take care. Bye.